which would given at TEDx Palachi ITS at Warangal. It is basically in Telangana, India. So I'll be revisiting that TEDx talk, and I'm looking forward to basically revisit it with you guys, and let's see how it goes. So I'll be starting my first TEDx talk. And it was the first TEDx talk, so I was really excited, very excited, a bit nervous, I shall say. Those were something which I've always been looking forward to. So I'll keep on sharing interesting aspects of the story behind the talk. So I'll start sharing. I'll start basically sharing the talk on the screen, and hopefully you'll be able to see it.
Whoa, now that's the energy I'm talking about. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Banki Kenny Gataria. And before I start off, I would like to say something. You see, life is a game, and the game is all about the name. The life is a game, and the game is all about the name. And if you want to make a name, then you got to take the blame. And if you take the blame, then there will be shame. But if you take the shame, then take that shame and ignite your flame. Because when you ignite your flame, then you will get to that big aim. Once you get to that big aim, ladies and gentlemen, you will make a name. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is all about the game. That life is a game and you make a name. Thank you.
So this is basically the poem which I state right at the beginning of this TEDx talk, and it is something which I gave a lot of time and thought also, so that it would be basically a bit of rhyming words coming in, so that people would get motivated and inspired. So that was the thought process behind writing this poem. And I remember when this event happened, there were around like I don't exactly remember, but there were somewhere around like 12 to 15 speakers, and I was one of the last 4 speakers. So basically, they had everyone knew people in the conference, and everyone had their lunch and tea and everything. So it was like a bit late. So I definitely knew that people were a bit exhausted because of all the speeches, and so there were a lot of students. So it was very important for me to catch their attention right at the front. And luckily, I had prepared this poem especially for this talk, and it was the first time I basically gave this poem. I basically was able to come out and share this poem. So it's something very important. So you just need to come out and you need to grab people's attention. Just like on YouTube videos, you'll see people saying something catchy so that they have their audience's attention. And then once they have the audience's attention, then they basically share what they really want to share. So it's important. What I have learned is it's important to have people's attention in the beginning. So maybe you can give a stat, an amazing stat. Maybe you can start off with a story, something which basically catches people's attention. So let's move ahead.
Thank you so much for this warm reception. I am Banki Kenny Gataria, and I would like to start off by sharing my story. You see, because statistics tell, but stories sell. And stories help us connect. And I want to get connected with you all, with each and every one of you. So I'll start by sharing with my story. So I did mechanical engineering from KK Wagh College, Nasik, Maharashtra. So I'll take you back to the first time I represented India at the international level in a public speaking competition. I was one of the 8 representatives of India in this competition. I was very excited, enthusiastic, energetic. It was a competition in Chennai. I was one of the 8 representatives and other representatives from Sri Lanka and Bangladesh. The competition came. I went to the stage with my collars tight, my shoulders broad, my head held up high in the sky. I thought I was going to go all guns blazing and all cylinders firing. I went to the stage, gave my best presentation, I thought. And then the presentation got over. And after the presentation got over, there was a Q&A session. And there were 3 judges. And one of the 3 judges said the most magical word we'll ever get to see, we'll ever get to hear. He didn't ask me a single question. He said, I don't have a question for you. And then he came onto the stage later on. And he took me as an example and told everybody, hundreds of people, how not to give a presentation. He came onto the stage, took me as an example, and teared me into pieces. And I was awestruck. You see, I was sitting there, right next to you. I was sitting there and looking at people. People are smiling, people are laughing, people are giggling, all at me. And the judge teared me apart into pieces. And I wasn't even asked a single question in the Q&A session. I came back home, my mom, my uncle, my mentor, everyone inspired me. This happens. Because I was like a typical 21-year-old guy. These guys are cheaters. I mean, they don't know how to judge. So I decided I won't participate in such a competition again. But when I came back home, I understood. And I was mentored and inspired. So I learned. I made a list of all the points which I had learned from other good presenters. And I made a list of all the mistakes I had done, I thought, and my friends thought on a page. I worked the entire year in the hope that I will get to represent India in the same competition again next year.
So this is, of course, a true story. I did represent India in a public speaking competition while I was in college, and the competition, as you guys heard, didn't go well, and the judge really hated basically my presentation. The reason behind it was because I was presenting on a topic of, if you guys might be aware, the topic was India's Mars orbital mission, or Mangalyaan, as we fondly call it in India. So India's Mars orbital mission, or MOM, and that's the topic I had for the presentation around while I was representing India. So basically, the presentation had a lot of good things that India had done while launching this particular mission. So I was basically like a very proud Indian going there and sharing all the good things about India and what India had achieved during this particular mission. So I do believe that I had a sideline a lot of technical aspects. I should have talked more about the engineering aspects, the technology behind the mission, and most of those things. But I do tend to believe that I didn't focus much on those aspects, and therefore I did not receive a very warm reception by one of the judges in the competition. So after I came back home, that happened, I guess, during the second year of engineering. And then when I came back home, and I did a 1 year of research, I gave 1 year's effort, and I tried, and I believe that if I come back the next time around, I'll come back with a stronger topic, something which I will have researched about, something which I would be basically interested in, a topic which would basically fascinate me, and something about which I can speak passionately, and I could research and learn for around a year. So I did that. Let's see what happened after that, guys.
So I did the work for entire year. And God's grace, I was again able to represent India at the very same competition. I was again one of the 8 representatives of India. And the competition was set to happen on the 21st of August 2016. And the reason why I remember the date exactly, 21st of August 2016, because remember I said I was doing engineering. On the 22nd of August 2016, I had my semester paper. And that was of refrigeration and air conditioning. If you know a mechanical engineering guy, you guys can feel the pain, can't you? You're engineering guys, right? And so I flew down. Even then I participated in the competition. I went onto the stage. All guns, not firing. No. See, you learn from your mistakes, right? This time I was very calm, cool, humble, gentle, kind, respected. Very slow, very nice. I gave my presentation, and there was one thing which was going into my mind. I didn't want to win the competition. No, I didn't. All I wanted is that one of those 3 judges, this time the competition was happening in Kolkata, I wanted one of these 3 judges to ask me a single question. That's it. I was a simple guy. I just wanted one of them to ask me a question so that my self-respect would be fulfilled. That at least this time I go around, at least the judge asked me a question. And then one of the 3 judges didn't ask a question. Oh my God. One of the 3 judges didn't ask me a question. And I was like, what the heck? But you see, one of the judges didn't ask me a single question initially because they had loved my presentation skills so much that they didn't want to ask me a question. Thank you.
So that is again, a story which basically continues. And the next time around when I visited India, the topic was football, science, and technology. I always wanted to play football. I was very good at playing football. I believe in back in school, so I do believe though that I improved when I was in college. But anyways, while I was in school, I wanted to play football, and I wanted to play, but I wasn't very good at it. But I was always good at studies. So I wanted to combine my love for football with something which I'm good at, that was studies. That is how that this concept of football, science, and technology came into the picture. And once I was able to present this particular topic at the international level, South Asian level, this time around, I guess in 2016, I was able to bag the runner-up spot in South Asia for presenting on football, science, and technology. So this time the presentation definitely went far much better as compared to the last time around. So that's how the journey went from, getting the basically getting quite a lot of negative comments, negative feedback on my presentation, to basically going on and bagging up the, or I don't know if bagging up is the right word in English, but I'll say winning the competition by basically bagging the runner-up position. I still don't know if bagging is the right word, so you guys can definitely let me in the comment section if that's the correct use of English or not. Anyways, so let's move ahead and let's see what happened after that.
And that moment I realized that life is not about winning and losing. You don't win and lose in life. You only win and learn in life. And that's the motto which I have been learning through. And that's my stories, ladies and gentlemen. And the reason why I wanted to share my story with you all is because of the fact that we all love stories. Our brain is hardwired to hear stories. Right from my grandmother's bed stories to watching movies. Everyone loves stories. And that is the first point of today's talk which I wanted to highlight. If you want to create a brand for yourself, if you want to create a name for yourself, share your story. That's the most important part. You see, because when you share your story, you share your obstacles, you share your problems, you share all the negativity. And when you share all the negatives, all the negativity, all the negatives and problems you have overcome in your life, you get connected with other people. Because you see, when you share the negatives in your life, listen to this carefully, guys. When you share the negatives in your life, the positives of your life automatically get underlined. So once you highlight the negatives, the positives automatically get underlined. And that is the reason why we share stories. And that is why movies are so amazing, right? They're stories. So when you go to an interview, people say, I don't have much achievements. I don't have much accomplishments. Fine. You have had some obstacles. Share with them what obstacles you faced, how you overcame them. Because you see, the interviewer doesn't bother about your aptitude. No, he doesn't. He's not bothered about your aptitude. It is not about the aptitude, but it is about the right attitude. So once you share your story in an interview, he gets connected. So that's the first point, ladies and gentlemen. Share your story. Now you see, once you start sharing your story and your story is inspirational, people start to notice you.
So this is something which I still believe in, sharing your story with people. Basically, when you share your story, when you share your obstacles, when you share the hardships which you have faced in life, the reference point basically changes. So the way people are looking at you, the perception, the way they look at you changes. So a lot of times this happens that, some people believe they have not achieved much in life, especially some students. They believe that they have not done much in life. By not doing much in life, what they mean is they have not topped in school or colleges, they have not won some extracurricular competitions. That is what they normally mean. But they would be excellent, with their family work and other stuff. They would have basically handled a lot of family problems. So basically what I wanted to share by this point is, even if you're going for a job interview and you have faced some hardships, you have basically been able to solve some problem which was very difficult. So you need to share that particular hardships, those struggles, with other people, with the interviewer. And when you do that, you are basically showing that you are made up of xyz qualities. So definitely sharing stories which show your character, right attitude, positive attitude, shows that you're motivated, definitely helps you create a good impression. May it be the interviewer, or may it be your friend, or may it be your dream partner, whoever the whatever the case may be. So you need to always share your story. Share your story to earn your glory, something which I still believe in.
You become an inspiration. Let me explain with an example. Just imagine, just imagine, ladies and gentlemen, you all, after 10 years, are a superstar, a movie star, right? And you're invited for a famous, a huge, a mega comedy show. So you go back and you come to the stage. And the interviewer asks you, the anchor asks you a question: Sir or ma'am, how has your journey been? How were you like in 10th grade? And you're like, well, when I was in 5th grade, I was one of the top 5 students. When I was in 10th grade, I was a topper. By 12th standard, I topped the college. In my engineering life, I topped the university. And the anchor goes like, and the people go like, do we find this inspirational? No, we don't. So how will the audience get inspired by such people? So if you're facing failures and problems today, it's because once you overcome those problems, bigger the problem, bigger the obstacle, bigger the story. And greater the story, bigger the story, you'll go to stages, share your story, and more people will become inspired by you. And you will become an inspiration. So that is the reason why you're facing such problems now. Because you see, once you overcome them, you will become an inspiration for many people. And also, another advantage is getting free PR. Press. If you want to have a personal brand, if you want to become an influencer on Instagram, Facebook, right? If you want to become an influencer on these social media applications, you need.
So this is one more aspect which I believe personal branding, that means the person himself or herself is the brand, involves. So sharing your story, sharing your achievements, sharing your accomplishments, and basically getting credibility. So for example, when I teach students personal branding, or I teach people how to speak at TEDx, and you guys can, basically I'm not affiliated to TEDx in any way, but I have spoken at TEDx twice. So I do have some workshops wherein I teach people, professionals, how they can get a potential opportunity to speak at TEDx. You can find the link over here, events.vankikataria.com, when you can go and find the entire details. So as I was saying, that when I'm coaching people, one important thing the students, the potential students, potential clients would want to know is, do I have the credibility to teach them? Do I have the credibility to coach them? And that is when these things of PR comes into the picture. Now PR is, you basically call it public relations. For example, media personalities and celebrities have their PR teams, so that they'll be able to create and maintain a particular image in front of their audiences. That is one aspect. But for individuals like you and me, of what I believe is, PR is creating a good personal brand and establishing credibility by getting featured in online magazines, online magazines and digital magazines and outlets and huge websites. For example, if you do see this website, you will see this particular registration link. You'll see that I have put in some logos on my website, such as I've been featured in digital magazines like Forbes, Entrepreneur, Huffington Post, MSN, major magazines, major business magazines. So when I do put that particular thing on my particular website, it definitely adds a lot of credibility, and so it acts as a boost. It basically helps people in making a decision whether they should be getting coached by me or not. So this particular thing can be a tiebreaker in deciding whether people will get coached from you or not, if you are a coach or a trainer, that is. If not, if you are just a student, if you are basically just looking out for digital marketing opportunities, then I suggest these things can help you get experience. These things can again add credibility to you, and a lot of people with a lot of power would actually want to connect with you, because you will have access to, maybe you'll basically be knowing how to get featured in magazines. So hope you guys get featured in those magazines, major websites and outlets, so that you are able to establish your credibility. Let's move ahead.
Proof. You need credibility. You need magazines and newspapers and TV shows to be talking about you. So, how do they talk about you? They share your story. So, first of all, you overcome obstacles, you overcome negativity, you share your story, you get press, you get and earn a lot of credibility. And this credibility is seen by a lot of people, which brings me to my third point, network. You see, normally what happens is when we share something on social media, we share an accomplishment and you get 500 likes. 500 likes. And your friends like, how did he get 500 likes? Now I'm going to make sure that my next post gets at least 510 likes. And the competition goes on. This is the wrong kind of competition which is going on. What should be happening is, we should be having a network which get inspired by your accomplishments. So this is what I did. When I started off, I went online and started searching for influencers under the age of 30, 25 influencers under the age of 25 in the field of marketing, branding, and I sent them all a connection request on different social media platforms. The first day, one person connected. The second day, the first person saw that the first one is a mutual friend, so he got connected. In a span of 3 to 4 months, I had over 1,000 people who were doing amazing things. So now, when I opened my social media platforms, my news feed came away. Now there was a friend who was meeting the president of the country. There was a friend who was meeting the prime minister of the country. There was another friend who was meeting a movie star. There was someone who is signing $1 million deal with a company. And here I am, sitting at my home, doing nothing. And then I understood the power of networking. So I started getting connected with these people. That's the first advantage. You get inspired automatically. You don't need to go and search for videos on different social media platforms. The second thing, once you start sharing your story, your accomplishments on these social media platforms with such friends, who knows? These people are meeting the presidents, the prime ministers, they would notice you. Even if one of those posts they give you a like, that means they have noticed you. They know who you are. So a big opportunity is lying right in front of you. So that, ladies and gentlemen, is the power of networking. So see, that's why I tell you, the game is all about the name. You have to make a name for yourself. And what are the 3 points? Let's quickly summarize it, guys. You see, it's all about the story. It's all about the story, because story brings you glory. It's all about getting press. The glory gets you press, which would help you progress. But all of these things are useless if you don't have the right network. Because you see, your network is your net worth. And that is why, ladies and gentlemen, life is a game. And the game is all about the name. Thank you, guys. And thank you so much for being a warm audience. And before I go, I'd just like to make a short point. See, even though my name is Swanky, it's originated from Venkatesh, Lord Venkatesh. And it's Venkatesh is the other name of Balaji. So you see, that's the same name, right? So I'm really grateful. I'm really grateful that I and you, we share the same name, because you see, the game is all about the name. Thank you so much.
So basically, the third point in network is a net worth is something which I have passionately believed in. And you heard the story. That is something which I did. I did go to Facebook and I did send a lot of friendship requests after my college, and a lot of people connected. And it was basically changed my life. It changed my perspective. I was able to get connected with a lot of people. So definitely it helps. Even if you mean I might not get 200 300 likes, you might be only getting 100 likes. But if you're getting 100 likes on your Facebook post or Instagram post from the right people, that is something which is absolutely priceless. It's very very valuable. So try to connect with the right people. And this is the, I guess, the last point also, which I said about the name being the same. That is something I'd given a thought to, because of course I knew that it's going to be TEDx Balaji ITS. So basically, when you're giving a talk, if you do have certain points in common with the audiences, it's a great point, because you're able to connect with them and you basically feel that connection. So try to find common points, mutual points, by which you're able to connect with the audiences, so that Once that connection is established, see, it's like you are point A and the audience is point B. You are trying to share as a speaker your point. Yeah, it's like a train, it's like a car. So you're trying to move from point A to point B. So the aim of the talk is for the idea to move from point A to point B. But if there's no bridge, the car cannot move, right? So in order to establish a good bridge in between the 2 points, in order to get these points connected, you need to do some certain things. For example, sharing stories, basically making fun of yourself, and doing some other things, which I'll also be revisiting while I do in my second TEDx talk, revisit as well. So when I do remember, I'll do it. I'll do it another video, but definitely in my second TEDx talk, I make jokes on myself. So that is something which you need to do. I don't think I did make any jokes on myself in the first TEDx talk. It's normally it's good to have self-depreciating humor. That means you basically depreciate yourself. You basically laugh about your own self. You're basically cracking jokes on yourself, your attitude, your habits. Something which is harmless though, and this basically helps people, the audience, know that you're not always about bragging and sharing achievements, but you're also having a laugh on your own self. That also helps a lot. So I'll be talking about those pointers in the second TEDx talk. But definitely, because I guess this was the first TEDx talk, though I was quite excited, as you guys can clearly see in the video. I was quite excited, and it was something. It was a very great experience, a real experience, and I would never forget it. So let's see. I'm hoping that you guys will come to TEDx at well, or you guys might have your own organization of talks and you'd become the next TEDx, or you go past it, or if you want to become a TEDx speaker, I'm putting in the link here as well and in the description. You can go check that out. You can report in for the. You can basically register yourself for the mentorship program, and I'll be mentoring you to basically share with you my secrets as to how I got to speak at TEDx. Because before I got to speak at TEDx, the first time I was rejected more than a dozen times, more than 12, 13 times. They always used to reject me. So this was something which happened after a long, long time. So I do know how to change the gears. I do know how to go from getting rejected to getting accepted on TEDx. I do know at least some secrets. I do know some strategies. So that is something which I look forward to share with you. Bye bye, guys, and looking forward to do the second TEDx talk revisit as well. Bye bye.